Hello everybody, this is Parveen and I welcome you to another episode of the App DNA channel where we talk about all things apps. Today I'll be talking to you about a quotation management app that we will be building with our low-code platform Zoho Creator. What is Zoho Creator? Zoho Creator is a low-code platform where we use a drag and drop interface to drag elements, drop them, build our workflows and deploy apps as quick as possible. It is meant for both developers and non-developers alike. Today in this tutorial I'll show you how even a non-developer can code an app as quickly as possible. A quotation management app will enable you to add clients, show them your product and service catalog, ask them to raise a quotation which you can either accept and reject. Any quotation management app should have 5 essential features. The first feature is that we will add our clients. The second feature is that we will add the products and services that we are offering and create a catalog for them. The third is that we will ask our clients to raise a quotation request. The fourth step is that either we can accept that quotation request and ask them to create a new quotation form, and the fourth is that either we can reject the quotation and send them a mail notifying the same. We will now log into Creator and show how to build the first form, that is to add our client. Welcome to creator.zoho.com where we will be building our quotation management app. You can either go for a new application, or if you have been using spreadsheets to maintain your quotations, then you can simply import those files and an app will be created for you. I'll go for new application and this takes me to the app gallery where we have 50 pre-made applications by our developers, of which quotation management is one. So after I'm done with this quick tutorial, we will install this app and check it for ourselves. Right now I'll create one from scratch and I'll name it as Quotation Management 2008. This takes us to the workspace where we'll be creating our first form. So our first form is to add clients. This is our form builder where we will drag and drop elements to build our form. In my client form, I want to know the client name, so I'll use the name field. Next, I want to know their email, their phone number and their address. And I hit done. And now I'll go on to access my application in the live mode. This is the edit mode where we are building the app, and this is the live mode where we'll see our app running. So the first form, add client, is ready. I'll add myself as the first client. When I add the form, in my all clients, I have been added as a client. So this is how we build our client form. Now that you have learned how forms work, we will be adding our products and services in a form and create a product service catalog for our clients to check. Our clients and products are there. Now we will ask our clients to raise a quotation form for the products that they want. Now to add my products and services that my clients can raise quotation for, I will create a form for my unit and I'm going to hide that form. This one will store all the units that I might want to have for my products. So a single line field and its name will be unit. Now I'm going to look up this unit for my add product services form. So I'll create my main. This form is what my clients will look up and they will ask for my quotations. So first I want to know what kind of quotation they want to raise for, whether they want it for my product or service. For this I'll use a radio button here. Product or service. Next, the product or service name, so a single line field. Next, I want to look up to my unit form that I've already created. Now, lookup is a special field that is used to relate two forms so that you can relate this form with another existing form. So I am looking up my units form. I want the unit field, unit, and then I want to know the rate for this product or service. So I'm going to use the currency. And next up is the available quantity that they want to raise a quotation for. So for this, I'll use the number field. So my product form is also done. Now I'll go and refresh my live mode of the app so that the changes are reflected here. And so let me add the first unit as, let's say, liter. Now I want to add my product services. The type is product. Product name is milk. And in the unit, the lookup is working, so liter. And available quantity. I hit submit, and in my products services report you can see that my milk has been added under the products and services, and I know that its type is product. So our second feature in which we add the products and services is done. Once a quotation has been requested, the admin can check the quotation request and either approve it or reject it. For that, we will look at how to build custom actions with Creator. Now, we'll be creating a new form, and this one will be the request quotation. This form would be exclusively for my clients who will look at my products and then request a quotation for them. So I'll go to create the new form and I'll name it as request quotation. In my request quotation form, I want to look up the name of my client who wants to request for a quotation. So we'll use the lookup field here, add client name. Next, I want to know their email, the deadlines, the service required before. Next, the status of the quotation, and the choices will be pending, send to client, and reject. Now I'll be using a data field called subform. What subform does is, it's a form within a form. I'll show you. This is my subform. I want a blank form, and here in the subform I can add fields and it will look like a form within a form. What I want in my subform is, I want to use a lookup to my products and services. So I'll use the lookup field here to my add products and services, product service name, done. Next, I want to know the quantity for this product and service that my client needs. So I'll use the number field and name it as quantity. I'll name the subform as items on quote. Next, I'll use the auto number field, start from 1, and I'll name it as quotation request number. Hit done. So my request quotation form is done, and now I will go on to create a workflow here. And this workflow is to ensure that the quantity that I have entered in the subform should never exceed the quantity of the product or service that is available. So for this, we will go on to create our workflow while using the form request quotation. I'll name my workflow as validate quantity. And this one will happen on the user input of, so I go into the field action on user input of quantity. In items on quote, I want this workflow to run. So this is my workflow builder, where just like the form builder, I will drag and drop these deluge tasks, which are blocks of code that make for easy coding. So what I want here is, I want to fetch my records from the add product services form. So let's have a variable. Let's say I name my variable as quant. I go to the form, add products and services, and for all the records where the ID is not equal to 0, so ID is a unique record identifier by creator, and if ID is not equal to 0, that means there are products and services in my add product services form, then this if loop will run. So if input dot items on quote subform dot quantity is greater than equal to my variable quant dot available quantity, then alert, please enter a lower quantity. Now we hit save. And now we'll go on to access our application in the live mode and check our raise request form. So this is our request quotation. Here the client name is, let's say, Parveen Chaudhary. I will put my email. Service required. Status should be done pending by default. Add new milk. Let's see what happens if I put 14. Please enter a lower quantity because the quantity available in my product form is 10. So I will again choose milk and put 5 and hit submit, and this time it gets added. In my all request quotations, you can see that the first number that I had put was 1, and the one where I created just now has been termed as quotation request number 2 because this is the auto number field. So our raise a request quotation form is done. Now what happens when an admin accepts a quotation request? A mail should be sent to the client asking them to create a fresh quotation. In our fourth feature, we are going to create a custom action button for approving our request quotations. So I'll go to the all request quotation report here, and I will go to action and create a new custom action button. This one would be named as approve on the condition that the status equals pending. Create workflow, and here I'll add a new action, custom action, create your own script. Input.status should change to sent to client. Along with this, I would want that a form be sent to the client, and that would be the create quotation form. So for now, I save my button, hit done, create the item, and in the layout, I'm going to add my custom action button, approve. Next, I'm going to create a new form, which would be sent once the quotation is approved, and this would be the create quotation form. Now this create quotation form would be sent to the client and they would raise a quotation through this form. So what we need is a lookup to the original quotation request number, which we would have got when we raised the quotation. So I'd go to the request quotation, and here the quotation request number would be looked up. Next, the client name has to be looked up. So you go to our add client and look up his name. Next, the quotation date, the expiry date of the quotation. And then I'm going to use a subform, and this would be for the products on quote. So my client would raise this subform asking for the products, the unit, rate, quantity, and stuff that he wants. So this one would be named as products on quote. And here I'm going to add the field lookup, and this one would look up my products and services. Goes to my add product service and product service name. Next, I want to know the unit, which should be auto-populated, and we would later on have a workflow for auto-populating the unit. Next, I want to know the rate, so we use the rate field. Next, I want to know the quantity. For this, I will use the decimal field. Next, I add the currency field, and this one would tell my amount. Last, I would have another currency field, and this one would calculate the total amount of my quote. So my create quotation form is done. Now I'll go to the live mode of my app, and I'll get the link of my create quotation form. So this is my create quotation. I will copy this link, and I'll go back to my workflow of approval, and here I will add it. So here I will use the open URL deluge task. I paste the form link, and the window type is new window, and hit update. Now I'll go back to create another workflow for my create quotation form, because I wanted to auto-populate certain fields in my create quotation form. Create a new workflow while creating create quotation, and I'll name it as auto-populate. So this action would happen on user input of add products and services. So on my products and quote, when I add products and services, I want this workflow to run. For this, I will use for each. So for each element, so let my variable be x. So for each x in products on quote, which is my subform, now I'm going to fetch records from my add products and services form. So let this variable be prod details form add products and services. So if the field ID matches the input, sorry, not the input, but the variable x here, so x dot add products and services, and then I'll use the fetch record again, and let this variable be called as unit details. This one goes to the form units, if the ID equals this prod details dot unit, and then it auto-populates the x dot unit details dot also x dot rate equals prod details dot rate. Now how does this code auto-populate my unit and rate? What I have first done is that I have gone to each element in my subform products on quote, and then I took a variable prod details. Now this prod details goes to my product services form. It finds out all the records whose ID match my subforms prod and services. Once they match, it stores the details in prod details. And then I can go to my subforms x and manipulates its unit with these variables rate and unit. Similarly, in unit details, I go to my unit, I find all the records whose ID match the unit of my prod details, and then I push it into my x.unit. Similarly, I can create a new action, and this one would be on the user input of quantity in the subform products and services. Now here I'll use my if condition again. If row.quantity is not equal to null, that means that my row has some quantity, then I will go and change the amount by multiplying the quantity with the rate. So row dot amount equals dot rate. So the amount in my subform will now be populated with a multiplication product of quantity and the rate. And then I'll for each row in products and code subform, input dot total amount equals input dot total amount plus each row dot amount. What this line does is that for each of the subform's rows, it goes to the total amount, and if the total amount is, let's say, 0, then it adds the rows amount that we get by this multiplication. And all the workflows for my create quotation are done. Now I'll go and access the application to check out what happens when we approve a quotation sent out by the client. Now we go to our request quotations. I have my all request quotation report, and here is my approve button. I click on the approve and it takes me to the create quotation form. Here I can request which quotation number I had, the client name, the quotation date, the expiry date, and here I add new products. I add milk, the unit is liter, the rate is 123, and the moment I say that I want 7 quantity, the moment I press click, the amount gets auto-populated and then I can hit create. So in my all quotations, you can check that the recently created quotation request number 2 with the total amount of 861 is right here. So now we will move on to the 5th feature where we will be rejecting the client's quotation. In the 5th step, we will see what happens when I reject a quotation request. A mail will be sent to the client for the same. Also, we will look at how to share the app with our clients, give them views to the product service catalog, quotation request form, and the create quotation form. Now, just like I created a custom action button for my approval, I'll create another one for the reject. So I will go to the request quotations report and create a new custom action. This one I'll name as reject on the condition that the status equals pending, reject, add a new action, and here I'll be sending first a notification mail to my client that their quotation has been rejected. So this one will go from admin user ID to my email, and the subject would be your quotation request has been denied or rejected. And here you can put the message as hi. You can insert field client name. And hit save. Now the next action that I want is that I want to change the input.status to rejected. So this one will happen on custom script. I simply have to go to input.status and change it to rejected. Now this custom action button is also created. Hit done, create the item, and then add it to the layout. Now we'll go to our reload it and check our report once more now. There should be 2 buttons, approve and reject. Yeah, there are 2 buttons. So now I will create another request quotation and see what happens. Now this status should be pending by default. So I will go and change that. I'll go to my request quotation form, open it, and change in the status. I will make it default pending. Hit done, reload the app. Also, I want to hide the status field. For this, I will have to go to my workflow while using the form request quotation. And this one is pretty simple. You just go to field actions and you hide the field status, and by default it's pending. So this time my quotation request form should look different. So you see that the status has been hidden this time. So I'll add again some data. And yes, I did receive the mail. Your quotation request has been rejected. Hi, Praveen Chaudhary. Contact admin for further details. So our 5th feature, that is rejecting and notifying the clients, is working. Now I will go on to create a dashboard. And this we can do through the help of reports. I want a Kanban report based on the form add products and services, group columns by type, and name my report as product service catalog. Create the report. My product catalog is created. I can change the layout that I want to see. I don't want this layout. I want a layout where I can check my quantity, rate and stuff. So okay, this is the layout that I've checked. And now I'll go on to access my application. Right here in the product service catalog, you can see that the product is milk, liter, the rate, the quantity, everything is visible here. So this is our catalog. Now I can also share this app with my clients, and this will happen by creating a custom profile here. I want to give them access to my product service catalog so that they can check it, and then they can raise a quotation request so they can access it. Next, I want to give them access to the create quotation view. I don't want them to see all the quotations. They can check their all request quotations as well. So next I will add a user. So let's say it's Akshay. I share, and what happens when I have shared the app with him? Let's have a quick demo of the app and see what all we built today. Let's have a quick demo of this app so that we can re-encapsulate all the features and stuff that we learned about Creator today. So first up, we add units through a form. So let me say that the first unit that I want now is kilograms. Hit submit. And maybe I want another one per hour. Hit submit. So in my all units, I have kgs and per hours. Now I will go on to add products and services. Let's say the service that I want is a service type, and then I want car. So car wash will come under the unit of per hour, the rate something, and the available quantity is maybe 30 man hours per day. Hit submit, and in my product services report you can see the car repair, car wash, and in the catalog you can see that car wash has come right here. Now I'll add a client. Now when I add a client, I want Akshay to be added. In my all clients, Akshay is added. And what happens in Akshay's mail? Let's find out. Here Akshay has got the access to my Quotation Management 2018 app. So when he goes to the application, he can check out only the views that I have shared with him back in the sharing profile that you created in the last step. So he can check the catalog. He can see that there's milk, car wash, car repair, and he can choose what he wants. Now he can also request for a quotation. So let's say he wants car wash, and he submits the quotation. Now he can check his quotations right here, but he should not be able to approve or reject this. So I have to go back and change the workflow and not give him access to this, which I'll do later on. But for now, when I go to my admin, I can see that all request quotations. So let me approve Akshay's request, and then I can open up this create quotation form right from here, and even Akshay can check this out. So let's say Akshay adds the products and the code that he wants, car wash, the rate gets populated, and now in the admin panel I can check all the quotations right here. Akshay got this quotation, and my all request quotations, the status changes to send to client. Now if I would have rejected it, he would have gotten a mail saying that his quotation was rejected. Now there's a lot that can be done in this app. Just as I said, I can change the profile to not show Akshay this, or I can have other modules as well. So I'll go to the app gallery app and show you what proper customizations are developed. I'll now take you to the app gallery where we will install the quotation management app developed by our developers, and we'll see what all extra features that app has. I'll take you to the app gallery through this new application, and right here I will choose the quotation management and install this application. So this is the quotation management app. What does it say? Please enter your company details to access this application. Okay, let me. Once my company details have been added, so that was the primary detail that they wanted, and no more entries allowed because you can have only one company for your quotation management app. And here you have create quotation where you have a lot more fields than I had. They even have fields to calculate the tax, the discount, terms and conditions. You have new quotations report, what was sent to client, accepted, declined. So these were the modules that we created. And then you can even analyze the decline of your quotations. You have the users where you can add your users, your product and service catalogs, your clients, and then the admin panel where you can have your company details, and the quotation requests have overdue requests, requests and stuff. So I want you to install this app and start using it. With more data, you will see how comprehensive this app can get. And after having gone through the tutorial, I'm sure that you'll get a hang of this app much better. I hope you could follow all the steps. If you have any questions regarding the app or creator, just shoot them below. Also, don't forget to subscribe our channel for more such app making videos. Till then, keep making apps and be happy.